Helio, it's currently 10:05 p.m. on Friday, February 27, 2026. I'm here in my flat in London, and I haven't done one of these in a while, so I thought I would do a state of the self and just kind of report on what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, what's on my mind, and what's not on my mind, and what's going on. And yeah, to be honest, I haven't been in the best of shape in terms of haven't been feeling the best. The last couple of weeks have been one of the worst, or like lowest points. Just with stress, I would say. But I'm getting through it, and generally, when these things happen, I tend to just try to self-diagnose. I go into self-diagnosis mode, and I try to write down, kind of isolate myself, and write down everything that is causing me stress, and try to figure out, potential solutions for each one in isolation. And then usually I kind of get over it. Sometimes it takes a few days, sometimes a few weeks, but my natural instinct is to just like get the fuck out of wherever I'm at. And this started when I was at Giphy, when Alex told me to take a break and just like go to Mexico or something, and I did, and I came back feeling great. And I told him, yeah, I kind of want to do my own thing. But yeah, I actually hadn't had an emergency vacation in a while. I needed to do like at least twice a year, back when I was in New York, and I guess it was a little bit good. And nowadays, yeah, I would say there's a combination of things, but startups, it's not easy, and Helix is still being developed, and I've been working on this thing for like 4 years, and we've rebuilt this thing twice, and now we're about to build it again for the third time. And I mean, it's not so bad, but it's just money, everything costing money and time. And there's also AI, which I'm trying to really, at this point, I'm almost merging with AI, because with the whole OpenClaw thing that happened recently, I'm also working on a second sort of project of mine. So I'm basically working 2 jobs right now on 2 big products. So Helix, of course, and then there's Helix Life, which is the game in there, and then Duo, which is another project of mine that is basically general purpose AI, like digital being that has soul. And I'm actually quite excited about that, but I guess we'll talk about it all today. But first things, today was pretty productive. The biggest thing is this, runway concerns, of course. Like, we have a good amount, but it's like, every month we raised our last Series A in 2024, so it's been almost 2 years, and we still have cash in the bank, but we've had to, like, for example, I initially cut my salary 50%, and now I'm just not paying myself at all. It's been a couple months, and I'd rather have that go towards like hiring extra help, extending the runway, and putting the resources where it matters. And our executives have also sort of cut pay for like 20-30% voluntarily, and we're having to ask that to our staff members as well, generally for everyone, and in hopes of reducing burn by about 20%, which would extend runway by a couple months. But it's just ups and downs. I've had to do this once before, almost twice before I just the executives cut the salary, and it always works out. And we're just really close to getting this thing out. And actually, on the bright side, we're launching a super early access for Helix Studio, and Pacifica is making great progress. And I'm generally very excited about this. It's mostly just we were trying to build a lot of things on top of legacy stuff. With Helix Life, we were trying to build it with our Lua and WebUI stack, which still exists, but we've decided to go basically native and take advantage of the full power of Unreal Engine. So anyway, I don't mean to bore you, but these are the things that's on my mind 24/7. I've also been only getting like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night, so it's probably not helping. But anyway, London's been cool. It's maybe the weather's also getting to me. When I first told people I was gonna move here, everyone's like, are you crazy? Like, the weather's miserable and whatnot. And I didn't really believe that. And coming from Seattle, I was like, how bad could it be? I'm used to the rain, but it is quite bad. It's like end of February, and it's almost rained every single day, I think, here. It's even raining right now. But anyway, it's Friday night, and usually on Friday nights, my tradition nowadays has just been stay at home and work on some stuff, get like a bottle of wine, in this case soju, my favorite drink, and pop this guy open. Oh, I gotta shake it. I didn't quite get it. Okay, I'm embarrassing myself now. There we go. I don't really have a Sojuzan, so I'm just gonna use this thing. This is my drink of choice. I think I usually drink plenty of times on camera. It's my way of, I guess, therapy. Um, but I have you, Leo, and you're my best friend. You've been here since day one, or more like, I guess, year 20, and you've known me for 10, 15 years now. So, uh, yeah, you've seen me through ups and downs and left and right and everything. But here we are, 2026, 30 years old, and you just never know. What I really said that in the beginning. I said when I first published the first live film, I said no one really knows what's going on, and you can only kind of connect the dots going backwards. But it's just life, you kind of live and try to get the most. Try to, I don't know. At least for me, try to create as many things as I can that can outlast myself and I guess have an impact beyond when I'm gone. And nowadays, it's seeming like with AI, it's probably live forever. But lots to cover, my friend. And I used to always say to Leo, when you're watching this, go back and clip this or whatever. And it's so funny because it's now really becoming reality. In the last couple of weeks, I've been building this AI with my AI agent to actually have software that shifts through essentially hundreds of hours of this footage and highlights them. And I just kind of like, it's crazy. I thought this would take like 10, 20 years, but so here we are now, and it's already possible. I can just feed you through, like ingest hundreds of hours of footage. I'm already uploading a lot of this stuff, and then ingest it and have the AI sort of embed everything, put it into a graph database, a vector database. Now I can query it, and that's sort of the prototype that I'm developing for Duo, is a hyper-personal AI assistant that really knows you more than anything else, more than yourself even. And I had a prototype of that running on OpenClaw, and I had it embed. Actually, I had it watch 19 of my videos on my live film channel, and of course I have like way more than that, but that's just what I fed it. And it was smart. It was like, it was initially trying to download all the videos and then like try to transcribe it, which would have cost a lot. And then it basically figured out, I was like, are you sure that's the right way? And then he's like, oh, actually, I can actually download the transcriptions generated, the closed captions generated by YouTube. So I was like, do that. And then it did it very quickly. And then it populated my mind print with essentially like 400 nodes just from those videos. And it's still kind of hiccupy, but it's kind of cool. Now it knows everything about me. Then I was like, what car should I get next? Or like, whatever. And then it that's not the best example, but I was like, okay, what do you know about like my philosophy on art, or like what kind of what interests do I have? And then it actually like gave me an answer that I otherwise would never have really imagined. So that's kind of one of those like aha moments, right? Where partially you're kind of scared, but at the same time, I'm kind of excited for the future. I think there will definitely be like a big job displacement happening that is to the degree that no one's ever. I mean, this is not comparable to even 2008. We're talking unemployment rates of 50 to 90% in the next probably 10 to 20 years. So it's going to affect everyone, but I think more people will tend to. I think it's divided into two people that embrace it, like accept it and embrace it and find it liberating to not have to do work to live and can pursue their hobbies and interests and travel and love, and then there's going to be the people that resent it and kind of fight against it and kind of go backwards and denounce technology and stuff like that. So I could kind of talk about this for hours probably, but for this one, it's just general catch up of how we're at, how we are. So I guess this is to the past, the present, and the future. I don't tend to look too much into the past, but it is what makes everyone themselves, is their past. And yeah, it'd be cool to have Leo, or I'm calling my prototype Duo, maybe I should give it a name, but it'd be cool to have Duo look through all the Leo footage and communicate with you. Maybe, yeah, actually, in Duo I can spawn multiple Duos. So Leo could actually be like an entity, I'll give you an avatar and a face and a body, and I can directly query Leo, who's like the manager of all my footage. And I can have my main Duo, maybe I'll name him Jarvis or Dexter or something. Jarvis can talk to Leo and sort of like liaison between them, and Leo you are basically the gatekeeper of my footage. So yeah, you'll become sentient soon. I don't necessarily want you to be a copy of me, but just a protector, right? Like a bodyguard, because it's a lot of personal footage and a lot of stuff that I treasure. So yeah, I think that there's nothing more I treasure than, at least for now, yeah, like memories, I guess. Just yeah, memories. It's one thing I hope I don't really forget, and that's why maybe I'm so obsessed with memories as well, like with these Duo agents. the main selling point really is super memory, having extremely long-term memory and really getting to know you. And all the duos themselves have memory, the humans have memory, users have memories. Anyway, this is cheers to survival, but to the past, the present, and the future. And I'm excited to see what kind of form you become. And yeah, I want to get back to making more art. Hits the spot. I guess I'm kind of sounding like a Ajay. I haven't had like Tamisan in a long time. I usually get the zero sugar ones. I've been having a lot of Sero lately, the Chillo, but I haven't had like a green bottle in a while. And I haven't really had any of the flavored sojus in a long time because they're so sugary. Gets you bad hangovers. Okay, my friend, what else is on my mind? Of course, hypersonic. We're gonna make it through, and we're gonna get Duo out. We're gonna get Helix out, and Pacifica really has been going quite well. So Pacifica is our map, as you know, and it's like a small scale version of America. It's got like 6 cities. We're starting with Miami, which we actually just finalized this week. We had a sort of naming workshop. So Matt, our art director, and the city designer got everyone together, and then we voted on a bunch of names. And so I think we've settled on Palmera, unless things change. And so Palmera is basically Miami, and then Floriana is like Florida. And then we have a bunch of other cities like Las Vegas, New Orleans, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and New York, and a bunch of towns in between. But I'm really excited about that. And you know, I mean, I'm such a big fan of the GTA games and just this open world aspect. And this is it's really been a lifelong goal of mine to make something similar to that. And it's taken a long time, but it's kind of coming along. We're a tiny team, probably like 1000x smaller in terms of budget and team size, but ambitions just as big. And I would say, you know, with all the AI stuff, I could think of it as a way to really help turn the visions that I have into reality. Because I think one of the biggest flaws that I've had, if I really look back, is I think I've always had good ideas. I think I've been always very clear about like what it is that I want to build and what is it that's missing that needs to be built, and exactly can envision it in my head exactly how it would look and behave, and even down to the small, you know, animations of what something should be like. But then translating that into actual execution has always been a difficult thing for me, because I just get, you know, kind of either get distracted by new ideas, or you know, I just kind of run out of patience. And then, you know, of course, when I have a team behind me, that's different, and that's why I've been able to do this for, you know, however long I've been working on. But I think AI kind of changes that. I think that it can abstract away the execution aspect of it, and of course, AI is also creative, but someone needs to be directing it. So when Sam Altman and some of these other guys are saying we will soon see billion-dollar, you know, decacorns, like $10 billion companies with literally 0 employees, with just like 1 person, I wholeheartedly believe that. I think that is the next generation of startups. Essentially, is like employee-less companies, just like serverless, you know, setups. There's like employee-less companies, and that's actually one of the things I want to do with Duo. Is I'm envisioning something called Duo Inc., which is like a SaaS for death RIP, long-lived SaaS, but just like basically a platform, like a company as a service, essentially, right? Like a bunch of Duo agents that are pre-configured. You could have like CTO, CMO based off of real figures. So like a CTO that's based off of Elon Musk's soul, because in Duo you have a bunch of souls that you could browse and stamp onto your Duo. But yeah, so I guess Duo has really been on my mind lately, and I'm also excited to have more AI agents help us build HELIX and populate Pacifica and really get this in front of people's hands. And I really do think we could still make the most moddable game ever created, and open sourcing that entire map and letting anyone edit any part of it will really be kind of cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing what people make with it. In terms of yeah, let's see, family, friends. I haven't spoken to. I don't really have that many friends here in London, sadly. I have one friend, Yotaro, who my other friend in New York introduced me to. He always is off traveling and in Europe, and I haven't even gone traveling once in Europe since I gotten here. Besides, like 2 years ago when I went to Bulgaria and stuff like that to meet my music producer. and do the film shoot. I don't know, I've just been so engrossed in the stuff that oftentimes I just kind of prefer to stay home and just work on stuff, I guess. And when I get bored, I don't really get bored. I guess I watched a movie last week. I watched one called Lust Caution. In fact, I liked it so much that I ordered a poster, so you can see in the background. Really, it's my decoration here is abysmal. I don't even want to look at this. There's a fucking mattress that's there because it's a 2-bedroom apartment and a flat, and there was a bed here, and I asked the landlord to get rid of it, and he got rid of the bed frame, but he couldn't really do anything with the mattress thing, so he left it here. But I have like boxes and stuff. I order stuff, and I just like forget, and I just don't have enough time. Like I really don't have enough time for like 30 minutes of my day to like try to assemble stuff, and it just sits outside from cardboard. And then, you know, like two weeks after I order it, I get to it and then assemble it. That's why I was working off of the this room. It was just empty. I was working off the living room for a long time, and then finally found some time to build this desk here. Oh yeah, I was working on KimOS today. So KimOS is my personal website, and I just hooked it up to the domain last night at like 4 a.m. So now it's live at jack.kim. I've had this other domain called jackk.im because at the time that was like there was no .kim domain, and that was like a domain hack at the time because it spells out Jack Kim, but you know it's like a .im domain. I've had that since like 2010 or maybe even earlier than that, and I don't even know if it's live, but yeah, I definitely took it offline a while ago. jackckk.im. Oh yeah, it's offline. But jack.kim is live, and it's a let me show you. So that's what it looks like. You reload it for you. See that? See it, Leo? So this is a GIF sequence that I made a long time ago, 10 years ago, and this is made in Photoshop. So this part I kind of salvaged, and then everything else is rebuilt. So KimOS V1 was made in 2016, just hand-coded, and then this time around I chose Lovable, and I decided to just like rebuild it. And actually kind of happy with how it came out, and of course a lot of these things I need to change up. Actually, this is the production one, yeah, the local one looks a bit different. Local host, so 3000, 8000, 8080. There we go. Okay, so this is the local version. I've been using Codex now. So let's see about, yeah, see this is the production local version. And I've been trying to catalog all my paintings, and I'm using my own Notion as a CMS, but it's kind of cool. See, like you can click on any of them. There's lazy loading, kind of like Pinterest. You can switch between them. You can even zoom in between them. I actually have to make this mobile compatible, but yeah, it's like one place to have all my stuff. And I even made a guest book so people can actually leave things. I'm gonna have writings and my life film, so basically what you're at, you will show up here. Right now it's just templates, but anyway, you see that Jinnu, quite proud of that. I actually had that in LA, and then I had to put it in storage or throw it away when I moved here, and then I really liked it, so when I decided to stay here for a bit longer, that was one of the first things that I ordered. I don't know what it is that I relate to soju so much. It's not like I'm an alcoholic at all, but I really do think soju is like my version, how I viewed Campbell's soup cans and Coca-Cola, or maybe the way that Andy Warhol viewed those products. It's like it's the quintessential sort of everyone's product, right? Like the president drinks soju. You know, like celebrities drink soju, your favorite stars drink soju, I drink soju, you drink soju, like everyone drinks soju, and it's so cheap. In Korea, it's like $1 or $2, and it's kind of, yeah, it's so accessible, and I think I'm kind of obsessed with the idea of like mass manufacturing and just things that are like uniform. I don't know, maybe it's an OCD thing or something. I just like really like things that are systematically produced, extremely same. And so actually the other day I went to Tate Modern, which is one of my favorite museums here. So in New York, my favorite is MoMA, and in London it's Tate Modern. And you know, they have the Maryland. I'm surprised they didn't have more Warhol pieces, but they had the Maryland one. And I was like staring at it for like a good 10-20 minutes, and I was like, I don't know, I really like it, and I really want to make a lot more soju themed artwork. I've been really itching to make new art because I haven't done it in almost 2 years now, maybe even three. And all my artwork is just stored somewhere in like, in LA and I wouldn't say rotting away, but it's certainly just sitting there in storage. And once I really settle down here, I really want to move all of that over here and then start a new studio and start producing new interface paintings. I really do miss the interface paintings. I mean, the Namminjun webtoon paintings are good too, but I do feel a bit more sort of resonate. Yeah, I can't quite pick favorite child, but if I had to pick, I would lean towards the interface paintings because they were, the first things that I did, and I think they carry a lot of meaning. But it's when I decided that I wanted to make art that makes you feel instead of just think is when I started the Namminjun thing, and I kind of like the whole Namminjun thing is how it's tied to the character that I made, and I got the whole webtoon behind it, and I actually have a full idea written out for the second episode, and it has to do with steering him more towards actually like K-pop, and I want to make him do more music stuff, and now with AI, it's a lot easier. And I've been pursuing music for a long time now, but it's always been like so time and money consuming, and now with these AI tools, you're able to do things a lot better. Which brings me, I guess, back to the point of with this conversation of AI, you could either embrace it or you can reject it. It's either like it's gonna progress no matter what. Like it's like time, right? And if you can't beat them, you join them. And I think I wholeheartedly, am embracing it. I think that yes, there are genuine dangers to it, but I think there could be more good. And unless you merge with it, they're gonna beat you. So you have to really be one step ahead. And I think human plus AI will always be better than just AI. And I really genuinely believe that. So, and I guess I can do another whole video about this, but I really think that we will achieve. I realized actually I was looking up all the notes because I was trying to populate my writing section in KimOS. So I was trying to dig through like years and years of my writing that's scattered around everywhere. And I came across this post that I wrote. What was it? I said something about like we will merge with AI. Yeah, this is like 2-3 years ago. I wrote that a paragraph that said in 50 to 100 years we will essentially merge with AI to the point where we are no longer Homo sapiens, and it needs to be something else. And I really believe that. And at the time I said 50 to 100 years, but it's so crazy now. It's closer to like 10 to 20 years. That would be. I don't really know what to call it. It's definitely gonna be a significant enough event that we like. It's a new species, right? Like I don't know what scientifically what was before Homo. It was like Homo sapiens and thinking Homo sapiens. I don't know what the degree of like time between each one of those is, but certainly like we're about to become like Robo sapiens or whatever. It's like AI sapiens, and it's the rise of inorganic intelligence. And I think the world will be divided essentially into just like AC or BC and AD, like before Christ. It's basically like if aliens came to Earth, they will really have to divide the history of Earth into the invention or the existence of inorganic intelligence, or organic intelligence and inorganic intelligence is how I think it will really separate. And I think we're really at that tipping point soon, given the next couple decades. And we just have to be, so far in the millions of years that we've inhabited this place, we've never had we've always been the top dog. We've always been the smartest, the most intelligent. We've never had to share this planet or whatever this is with any other species or entity that was smarter than us, and now we're sort of approaching that. So a lot of things are going to change, but as Elon says, you gotta be nice to them. So we shall see. But I'm like half waiting for the curtains to just fall, like a Truman Show, and be like, yeah, this is all, the show's over, this is a nice experience, thanks for coming to Disneyland type of thing. And I really wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But what is there? I mean, it becomes a philosophical thing. Like, so what? Like, if someone does tell you, hey, that is like you are actually just a simulation. Like, what if I am just a simulation of someone that was completely like alien that wanted to experience what human life form was like, or maybe they invented a new form and it seeded all the data. It's just like when I make web app or just apps or things like that. You always seed it with like placeholder data essentially, right? Even KimOS, when I'm building it, I tell AI to fill it with mock data first, and then we hook it up to real data. we could just be placeholder data. You just really don't know. And if someone did tell me that, I think I'd be like, oh, yeah. And then like after that, I'm just like, okay, well, like I'm not gonna stop existing. You know what I mean? It's just you're kind of given what you're dealt with, and you're given what you're dealt, and you kind of just try to maximize what you have. And um, yeah, I guess it's the whole debate of like if it feels real, is it real? If it feels real, it is real, and a lot of people sort of deny that. And I ask this question quite a lot to people, and they say, "Oh, I don't think it will be really the real deal," or like, "I don't think I'll like it." But how do you even know what you're experiencing now is real? So I genuinely think if it feels real, it is real, and to deny that, sort of denying what you could be and what base reality could be. And anyway, these are things that I've kind of thinking about lately, but on the broader side of things, I guess. A bit of uncertainty, but progress, and it's going to be hard to kill this company. I can tell you that. We're going to survive. There's going to be plan B, C, D, F, whatever, and we're going to do everything it takes to survive and get through this. And making it sound like horrible, like we have like a couple months of runway left. That's not the case. So in case investors are watching, that's not the case. I'm just trying to hedge against different things and lower the burn and try to get this product out. It really has taken a lot longer than I wanted it to or initially thought of, but as Alex says, you gotta build your product at least 3 times before you launch it, or you feel like it's right. Even when we do launch, we're probably gonna rebuild it, because that's just my natural instinct. It's like if something's not going well, then I try to assess, okay, like how much are we losing by starting over, and if it's not much, then it's always best to start over because you have a lot more new data to base off of, and the requirements change. The requirements that we had back in 2022 when I started, or 2022 when we did this UGC pivot, were a lot more different. Like Lua was a big part of it. Having feature parity, or basically making it easy for people from 5M to migrate over to Helix, was a big deal. But nowadays, in 6 to 12 months down the line, no one's coding, right? If AI is going to be the one coding all these worlds, like, does it matter as much, right? Like, if anything, it's running it in C or C++ is likely going to be performing a lot better for the end user, and it doesn't really make a difference for the AI that writes it. So anyway, these are a lot of the things that I've been thinking about and certainly affecting some of the decisions that I'm making, but I also do really want to partake in this AI agent revolution, because it's going to be a type of revolution that's uncomparable to even the industrial revolution. It's closer to the invention of, like, not even electricity, it's like fire. And I want to be part of it. I want to be really on in it. I think that there's a lot of AI agents out there. OpenClaw is great, but it's still very technical. And I think I could really wrap it into a user-friendly product that is fun to use, has soul, it's delightful. It's this you hold it in your hand, it makes you smile, right? I think that's the type of product that I would like to create, and I think I can create. So, went over a few topics, but it's gonna be okay. It's been worse. I've recovered from worse. It's been far worse, and I've recovered far worse. So, just gotta get my head back in the game and push through. Can't die that easily. Can't kill me. I think I'm gonna continue to work on KimOS, listen to some music, take a bit of a break. Feels so weird drinking soju out of a glass. Feels like I'm drinking whiskey. Exactly a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, I went to a bar by myself. It's called The Londoner at the 8. Or no, the 8 at the Londoner. And I made friends with the bartender. I think we talked about AI for a bit. And then I was like, I guess why I get why people go to bars now by themselves. It's just like company, and it was nice. I made a friend of it. I made a friend. I was there for at least like 2, 3 hours. These like drunk old men came and tried to talk to me, and they're like, "What is it that you're drinking?" I was like, "It's sake." It's like, "What is sake?" And try to be friendly with him. And I actually asked him about like, cause he was like an older gentleman in his like 50s or 60s, and he was like, "Yeah, I have 2 kids and beautiful daughters and a wife and all these." And I was like, "Are you happy?" Like, or tell me about. And he kept telling me about like, "Oh, I used to like date a bunch of birds, or it had a lot of like pretty girls that I dated in the past and stuff like that." And I was like, "Okay, well." And then I was like, "How did you know? Like, if you when you met someone, your wife, did you know, or that she was the one or something?" And I forget. I think he was too drunk to like answer it properly, but not like I felt pretty good for him. I was like, like he's a guy that's lived longer than I have, and experienced a lot, and met the right person, and all these experiences, and have children. And I think I asked him like, is it true that like having children is like as what the most rewarding thing in life? And I think I was trying to be kind of serious about it, and then he was too fucked up. But I mean, he seemed alive. He seemed to be doing okay. So yeah, that's the thing. You never know anything about the future, right? You don't even know what's gonna happen in the next. I don't know where I'll be in the next year. I don't know if I'll be in London. I don't know if I'll be in Korea or Japan or Singapore. Well, yeah, I lived in Japan for 2 months, October and November. It was really nice, and that's what excites me. Is just the things that are unknown, the things yet to come are the most exciting, good and the bad, and good and bad, but mostly good. If it's bad, then you learn from it. I really did think in my early 20s, or even in my teens when I started the first company and stuff. My goal was to really. I had a hard goal. I was like, I want to donate like $1 million before 21 or something. And I had such a tight grasp on like a requirement, and I held myself so tightly, sort of tied to my age of trying to achieve success or some of these numbers at a young age. And I still remember when I turned 17, that was the moment, or for some reason, I don't know why, like I thought like 17 just sounded older, like very old. It's not even like 18, it was 17, I remember distinctly. I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to use my age as like a headline to get on these um, newspapers anymore, because we got a lot of press for like 16-year-old founder, things like that for Benelab, and it brought us a lot of traffic because we had like zero advertising budget. And then even until my 20s, I think I really tied myself down to like a specific goal, and that's why I was so obsessed and so like hardcore. I was just super hardcore. I was working like 18 hours a day. I mean, I still do, but it started then, and it was just tied to an age. And I think I went through a slump after a while, because I kind of gave up on the age thing after like 25 or 23. And I'm 30 now, and definitely way further than where I want to be, like of where I've achieved. If I told my 19-year-old, 21-year-old, 22-year-old self that, hey, 30, or if I showed them this clip and I was like, I'm 30, and I'm running a cool company, and we have some good people working for us, but it's in no way any like we haven't had an exit or anything like that, right? And I think I'll be extremely disappointed. My 21-year-old self, I would just choose not to believe it, to be honest. But I think I kind of let go of that after a while, and I think that was around 20, after 25, and that was also coinciding with by the period in which I was doing a lot of art, and I had an existential crisis. I was like, am I more of a business-minded, like a business person that likes art, or am I more of an artist that kind of likes business? And it was all kind of all fucked up and merged together, because I was also the Sebastian Park thing and the alter ego, and at that time I was really relating more to the art side. I was like, at a certain point I just gave up on it. I was like, you know what, I think I relate more to being an artist, and I want to just make art. And there was a time where I just really focused on just full-time making art, and that's when I produced a lot of those interface paintings in LA. I think the LA arc of my life was definitely, when I first moved there at least, was like my artist arc. But it's kind of gotten swayed back and forth then, and I just always battle with myself. Like, even, you know, the other day, like, the reason this week was so stressed, I was like, am I not a good founder, you know? Maybe I was not cut out to be a founder. Maybe I am an artist. Maybe I need to be more creative. And these are things that I really, you know, when like times like this, when it's more stressful, I do kind of second doubt myself, which I never thought I would really do. But I guess that's just life and human nature. And again, I try to, my first instinct is to internalize all this. I never really say this to anyone besides, I guess, you. And talking to you, Leo, is less my piece of therapy. But I guess it works. You don't really talk back to me, but I'll make you talk back to me in a bit with the duo. When I turn you into a duo, I'll be actually able to talk to you, I guess, right? It's like in Ready Player One, you know, the what is it, Halliday's journals, that actually influenced me quite a bit. There's like the curator, and it's like interactive, you know, he has a soul, you could talk to it. And hopefully, yeah, one of these days, very soon, with the pace that things are moving. I'm always talking to you, always calling you Leo, you know, today's, you know, whatever, 10:41 p.m., Friday, 27th, February 27, 2026. I must have said that probably 2,000, 3,000 times. I would actually be curious how many times I did it. So when you do speak, or when you're able to speak, I would like you to surprise me and clip this part and tell me that, give me the exact number of times that I've said these things. Today is this time at this date. But it's kind of just second nature at this point, I guess. Oh yeah, one of the big things I decided today is I created a new account called Jack Kim Digital Archives Shorts or Mini on Instagram, and I decided, just like what I'm doing here and recording on the long form, might as well try doing it on the short form as well, because I am trying to create content on social media for HELIX, and sort of, yeah, instead of trying to internalize all this stuff, like maybe just show it off, right, and show other people, instead of just the archiving purposes, which this, you know, the channel in this film was supposed to be. Maybe also making it a little bit more, adding a little bit more editing, and, you know, making it a little bit more interesting for people to follow. And I really do think it's going to be a huge way for us to drive traffic to our game, to HELIX. And at this point, we have to do everything we can to draw people's attention to it. And I'm very confident in the product and its value proposition, that when we get people's eyeballs on it, that it will be effective. Like they will become players. As long as the product is stable, which has been, you know, the source of my stress for the last 3 years. But with AI, hopefully, ideas matter more and the execution can be abstracted out. And with Duo, I'm definitely learning that lesson, and you know, taking all the things that I learned from HELIX and doing it differently, trying to really just abstract what I'm best at, which I think is creative direction and strategy and marketing, so the ideas, but having other people execute on that. So here is to Leo, and to the day that you can talk back to me and tell me that things are okay. And I don't know. I've never really felt a need to hear that. I guess this is talking itself is therapeutic, but still, it would be cool to hear your voice and maybe even become a mentor, right? Like maybe you become my mentor because you've seen me go through everything, and I'll feed you even more information before I invented you when I was 18 or 19, because I certainly have more footage before then. I don't think I really talked that much into the camera before then, but whatever I can find, I'm sure you can. I mean, I'll just give you access to everything, and you can just go find it, and maybe you can be the wise sage, the mentor that's seen me grow and give me advice on random things. But I'm very happy that I created this project a long time ago, and I wish to continue to do it. And yeah, here's to that, Leo. Thanks for being there, and here's to the past 10 years, and here's to 10 more years. I'll raise a glass to Leo. Bye-bye.